Hi, welcome back to my eBay bench. Today is Friday, April 4th. The month started out pretty slow. The first and the second, we only had 2 or 3 sales each day, adding up to about $40. But yesterday, the third, we had quite a few big sales throughout the day. I put I started a sales event with some discounts in my shop right away. I could see that the month was going to be slow. I mean, already the first 2 days we've only made $80, so I decided let's start doing some discounts right off the bat and try to get this month moving as fast as possible. So I'm trying something a little different this time than I have in the past. I put a 10% off sale on anything that was that's older than a month but less than 2 months, and then a 20% off or 15% off sale, everything that's 60 days to 90 days, and then anything older than 90 days is 20% off. So it's 10, 15, and 20%. And it seems to be working. We got a lot of sales right off the bat as soon as that discount kicked in. So it seems like possibly a good technique moving forward. We'll see how it goes in the future. Well, let's keep our eye on it this month, and then we'll decide if we want to do this again. Right now we have 9 total orders. That's just for Thursday. And so far Friday morning, I usually don't work on Fridays, and so then I pack I pack all Thursday orders on Friday morning instead of Thursday night. And so far Friday we haven't had any sales, but we did have quite a few good sales yesterday, so we're going to take a look at all those. We're going to pull those orders from our inventory and get them packed and ready to ship. And at the end, we'll see exactly how much money we made on each of these items and how much money we made for the whole day. So stick with me as we do this packing, and we're going to start doing it right now. Okay, we're back and we're ready to pack. Like I said, it's about 9 orders, and a couple of them are a little bit they're not complicated, but a little bigger. That might take some time. So this might be a long video today. There's quite a few things to go through. I did yesterday. I had a offer come in, and I took that offer, and I was waiting to get paid for it. It was a stuffed toy from Lender's Bagels, some kind of a promotional toy, and it was only a $19 sale, but I was, for whatever reason, I was excited to sell that. And the buyer hadn't paid, which I'm still not entirely sure why eBay doesn't do automatic payments like they say they do. But this person didn't pay. I was just going to count down the 4 days, and then they have 4 days to pay, basically, and I was going to count down those 4 days, and then as soon as that was over, report that buyer for non-payment. But they ended up asking to cancel the order yesterday, so that was a little bit disappointing. Then last night, I had a jacket, some sort of a coat that I had. Again, it's on sale, so it was $50.37, something like that. And I got an offer for $50 even, which is, I'm not sure why you would bother sending an offer for 37 cents off, but I took the offer. And then 20 minutes later, I hadn't been paid yet, and I thought this is going to be the exact same situation. And that's a big sale for me, $50. I wanted to get that coat shipped out today. That's what I was hoping for. But still haven't been paid for that. I look at the buyer, and I'm usually not too concerned about a brand new buyer, somebody who just created their account. These are some soup bowls. These are pretty nice. Anyway, I'm not concerned about a brand new account, but this was a brand new account, was created that day, and it's an international buyer as well. And then that weird offer for 37 cents off made me think this person is possibly confused and doesn't really know what they're doing. You know, they're putting in an offer without knowing that means they actually have to pay for it. I'm going to put this out of the way because it's kind of big. Excuse me. So I have a suspicion that sale is not going to go through either. And now I'm going to grab a little water because my throat is scratchy. That sale would have been good for me because that would have made the day extra big. But I don't think that buyer is going to pay. So we'll see if it comes through or not. Okay, I have a ton of these things. Excited to sell this because I think I have 15 of them. I have this hair dryer here, was removed by eBay for some sort of a product recall situation, so I'm trying to decide what to do with it. I have about 4 items that were removed for different reasons over the years, and I don't know, they're all still sitting around here. I should figure out if I want to just throw them away or whatever. Okay, this is do I only have 2 of these? Oh no, there's 2 more up here. This is garage door springs or rails or something. Okay, now we got a book, LR5C. LR5C. Burn the Witch. I should have put these in alphabetical order, I guess. Because now I have to look through all of these. This one at least I know is sealed, so it should be easy to find. Well, not that easy. Part of the problem is they're in Japanese. Burn the Witch. This one's in English. Or at least the cover is. Okay, now we've got a Littenware LR. Oh, and this is at mid 1B. That's over here. These vintage plastic, they're like microwavable cookware. They don't sell for an outstanding amount of money, but they seem to sell quickly. So I recommend keeping your eyes peeled for Littenware. I don't know if it comes in different colors or if it's all that sort of tan, sandy color, but this is all I've ever seen. And I've probably sold 6 or 8 of these in the last 2 years. So that board game is going to be a little bit difficult to pack. This VCR is going to be a little bit of work. This thing is a kind of an unusual length, so that one might take a little while too. But shouldn't be too tough today. But let's not waste any time. Let's get straight to it. Oh, I also have this pair of shoes. I'm going to save those. I'm going to leave them over there for last. These are going through eBay's authentication guarantee program, and I've never done that before. So I might want to spend a little time making sure that thing is packed as nicely as possible, because it's going to go to an authenticator in Las Vegas, and then they will check the shoes out, make sure that they are legitimate Nikes, and then send them off to the buyer. So I want those to go into, I want them to look as nice, professional, and presentable as possible. Okay, this board game, I should have some boxes it will fit in. I hope I do. I might have to manhandle this box a little bit, and it might not even be long enough. No, it's not. All right, set that aside. This one should be. There's a lot of problems with selling board games. First of all, sourcing them. They're pretty often. That is just slightly too small. they're pretty often missing pieces, and then you have to do a counting of every piece that belongs in there. It takes a long time, especially with modern games. They have okay, we have a winner, I think. This room is going to get some attention pretty soon. I'm going to buy some shelves and keep in there. And then I'm going to be breaking down these unusual boxes as I get them in. Okay, when you buy board games, you need to inventory the entire thing. Modern games, these, they're like pseudo role-playing games, sort of. They have, the number of pieces that they have makes it almost impossible to track. There's like, there's all different kinds of cards. They all look kind of the same, so you have a hard time. Whoops, this should be on the inside. I'm using my box resizer to shrink this box down. So I keep telling myself no more board games, but then I don't know. I guess I'm a sucker for them. I see them and they look cool. And they have pretty good sell-through rates and pretty good value. And then I figure in most cases, if it is missing pieces, you can sell the parts. You can sell replacement parts. And those replacement parts take a long time to sell, but at least you get your money back, and they don't usually take up much space, and they're usually pretty easy to ship. So I guess I'll probably keep buying board games. This particular one is called Masterpiece. This is it's a weird like Parker Brothers / General Mills. I think at one time General Mills owned Parker Brothers or vice versa. And I got one of these games and sold it very quickly for, I can't remember if it was like close to $60, even though it was missing pieces. So I don't know what it is about this game, why people want to play it so bad or want to own it so bad, but I sold one for, like I said, $50 or $60, and then I found this one in the trash just maybe 2 weeks after I sold the first one. So when you're buying and selling, over time you start to know which things to look for. And like I never would have heard of this game before. I bought it and I sold it. I saw it and it looked interesting. I mean, I don't know what it is about this game that makes it worth. This one is missing several pieces. I mean, maybe it's missing 4 pieces. And I still sold it this is on sale for $46.79 plus shipping. So if it wasn't on sale, I must have had it for 10 or 20% higher. Between 10 and 20% higher. And somebody would have paid full price for it, I'm sure. I'm using some of this stretch wrap to keep it closed up. And maybe I should have put something inside of it to pack all the pieces down. Keep it from getting too jumbled up in there, but this is what I'm doing. Okay. So it's like an art auction game. And this one is missing. Well, let me tell you what's missing. Whoops. It is missing. It says near complete in the title. That's what I wrote. And it is missing. There's one card, one die. I probably have, I don't know if these are special dice, but I've been saving dice. When I get some board games that are broken up or not sellable, I've been keeping a stash of all the game pieces now. Like the sort of generic pieces like dice and like the little pawns that you move. So this one is missing a red pawn, one single dice, and it looks like I probably could have just replaced that and sold it a little bit more complete. But since I listed this, I started collecting all of those spare parts. And I didn't think about putting one. The game only comes with one single die. I didn't think about putting one in there. And it sold anyway. I'm happy with this sale. See how heavy this is. It's almost 5 pounds. I don't see that I can cut any of these flaps off to get it below 4. It's like 4.7 pounds. There's no way I can get 7 ounces out of here. This is why I don't like tape guns. This tape is constantly going backwards. And then it can very easily stick to itself, and you spend more time trying to unravel it than you would using a tape dispenser like this. Let me shake this a little. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna put tape on these corners just because this flap is so long. This might end up at FedEx because of how long it is. If it's over 22 inches, it's probably going to go to FedEx. I have a package right now that's being delivered. I sent it out. It must be 9 days ago now, and it's been in the same, according to the tracking, it's been in the same location for about 5 days. And I can't see, I tried to contact FedEx about it. I know with UPS is very easy to submit a missing mail search request, and I was hoping to try to do something like that with FedEx, and I don't see an option for that. So this is a golf club. It's in a very long, awkward box, so that's why I had to go FedEx. And I'm just, so far the buyer hasn't contacted me, but it's only a matter of time. Okay, masterpiece. I'm going to do my traditional method here, but after today, this might be the last day. If weighing this, so right now this says 4 pounds 7 ounces, but I've been experimenting based on some feedback from a viewer telling me that 4 pounds 7 ounces is the same cost as 5 pounds. So it would be faster to just write 5 pounds on here rather than 4.7. Which is for sure true. I'm just not totally convinced now that 4 pounds 7 ounces is exactly the same cost as 5 pounds. But I did do some testing with it, and it seems like it's right. But I want to see that a few times before I just stick with that system. Okay, this is 22 inches, so it will go USPS. Which, I mean, if I can just make one trip to one post office, I prefer to do that than going to the post office and also going to a FedEx office or a UPS office or whatever. So this is short enough that it will go regular. Okay, what's this? I just got a message from eBay. Best offer received. I will take this offer for some lapel pins for $18, and hopefully this one will go right through and we can get this in with today's orders. So we might have just gone from 9 packages to 10. Hopefully. Okay, let's go back to this board game, and then the buyer's initials are AK, so I'll write that on here, match that up with the label, the shipping label later. Okay, this is too big to leave on the bench, so I'm going to put it down here. All right, next up, all of these things are, actually most of them are a little more complicated than I'd like them to be. Okay, next up is this set of small soldiers plastic plates. They're made by Zach Designs, ZAK. So I hadn't had these for very long. I paid too much for them. I think I paid $4 for the 4 plates, and they're really only worth like under $15. So that's not the best. That's not the best decision to buy those. But I did, so I'm stuck with them now. And I listed them a couple of, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I got a message from someone saying, I really like these plates. It's too bad you won't ship to Arizona. And I've had this problem. This is like the second time I've had this issue where somebody contacts me and says, I'm not sure why you won't ship to my state. And I don't think there's even an option in eBay. Maybe there is, but I don't think so. I know you can say certain countries that you won't ship to, but I don't think there's an option to turn off specific states, as far as I know. So the other time I had it happen, it was South Carolina, and I worked on it for a long time trying to figure out what the issue was. And finally I just realized that I had put the wrong dimensions for the shipping box. So where it was supposed to say 10 inches, it said 110, which is too big to ship by most couriers or whatever. So it seems sort of like a glitch that eBay would tell the buyer that the seller does not ship to their state when the issue is just a typo. But if you ever see that come up where it says, maybe someone will contact you and say, why won't you ship to my state? Or maybe if you're a buyer, you might see that. The solution is to fix the shipping dimensions. So if you're a buyer, contact the seller, tell them that there's a problem and that's what the problem is. And if a buyer contacts you, you know to look for that issue right away. So I'm making this box a little smaller. I'm gonna see. Again, this is 1 pound 7 ounces, so I'm not gonna be able to get it under 1 pound, although I would like to. I don't think I need so much paper in here, really. These are just plastic plates, so I'm not worried about them getting broken. I got a return the other day of some dishes. I talked about on a video a few days ago that this return request came in, and I was contemplating sending the buyer a message letting them know that they're not going to get all of their money back since they chose to return it just because they decided they didn't want them anymore. And so in that case, eBay allows you to keep the shipping cost. So I was thinking I should tell them, right off the bat, you're going to lose $11 on this deal. So maybe you want to just keep these plates. Also, if the plates come back broken, then I'm not going to give you all your money back. You will lose at least 50% or up to 50%. 99 by 6. So I was thinking about sending a message like that, just kind of an informative message, like I'll take this return if you want to, but you should be aware that you could lose some money. This is going to DC, buyer's initials. And then I decided not to, that I would just okay the return. But I was really thinking those bowls were going to come back broken because in my experience, buyers send things back to me in not in any way close to the same shipping conditions that I sent them in, because I put a lot of effort into making things like this secure. I don't want this to get broken. And so those bowls came back. I was sure they were going to be broken, but they weren't. In fact, it looked like the buyer never even opened the package. Just a little bit annoying. Like, you know, why are you buying something from me and then never even opening it, keeping it for 2 weeks and sending it back? Seems like a bad decision. And I know buyers don't always, they're not always aware that most eBay sellers are it's just normal people selling. It's not, you're not returning something to Amazon. It's not a big corporation that can easily absorb those costs of returns. A return for me is a bit of and it's more of a nuisance than anything, but it costs me money. Even keeping the return shipping on that order, I still ended up losing a few dollars. Not to mention my time and packing materials and everything. So I understand it's cost of doing business. Sometimes you're going to get some returns. But that one was just a little more annoying than most of them are to me. I'm going to bundle these up really good. This is not a huge sale. I got these for, well, let's go back to the beginning. So I got that board game for free. I sold it for $47 plus shipping. The plates, I took an offer of only $12. So I spent $4.40 on them. I sold them for $12. After fees, I'll probably just make a few dollars on those, maybe $4. I bought these plates in a huge lot, like an entire place. I don't know, what do you call that when there's like enough dishes for a full fancy sit-down meal for 10 people or whatever. I probably got 40 or 50 plates, and, well, plates, bowls, serving dishes, the whole thing. And so I broke that down, and I spent about $5 for these 2 plates, and I sold them for $27 plus shipping. So this isn't a huge sale. I don't like to do fragile items like this unless I'm making a pretty good return on investment, because it involves a lot of packing materials to get stuff shipped properly. It's going to have to go into a box that's much bigger than it really is, than the item is. So that's going to be more expensive to ship. So I usually don't like to do breakables unless I'm making $50 or more. In this case, I'm going to try to fit these in this 12 by 12 box and see how much room there is around the sides of them. This will be fine. Okay. These 12 by 12 by 12 boxes that you can buy from the eBay shipping supply store, I don't recommend buying them unless you have a store and you're using your coupon that they give you, because they are much, much more expensive than buying them from some other companies. You can buy these boxes from some place like Zorro.com for maybe, if you have a coupon there, maybe you get them for 80 cents a piece. From eBay, you buy 25 of them and it's over $50. So they're like $2 a piece. But since I have a store, I have a $50 coupon to spend there every quarter. So I was able to get these for just a couple of dollars. And I like them because they have these pre-scored areas where this can be a 12 by 12 by 12 box, or 12 by 10 or 12 by 8. And you don't have to do any resizing. It's just already baked into the box. Okay. So we're going to put quite a lot of paper in here. So yeah, this is a lot of work and a lot of materials for a $26 item. I might. I'm gonna take 4 of these. I'm gonna put some of these scrap pieces around the edges just to thicken the wall. But this is probably overkill. Yeah, good. These are the scraps that came with the box that just got returned today or yesterday. So I'm gonna throw this in here to fill up some of this void, so I'm not spending all of my. I'm not using up all this paper. Okay, maybe one more. I don't personally really like sending out these packages that say eBay all over them. So in this case, I'm going to cover that one, but these ones on the side, I'm not going to bother with. It seems like obviously eBay wants their name out anywhere they want. You know, they want people to see it and think about them. But I don't know, it seems like an indication to maybe a porch pirate if they're walking by and they see an eBay box on somebody's front door. Maybe there's something good in there and they might just decide to take it. So I prefer if they didn't say eBay on them, but I'm not going to spend the time to black it out or cover it. Okay, I don't usually do these side pieces unless it's an exceptionally heavy box. This one isn't that heavy, but this item is pretty fragile, so we'll do it just for fun. Okay, that's nice and strong. Okay, this is Heinrich Villeroy and Bosch. This is called Aragon pattern. And it's 4 pounds even. And it's going to be 13 by 13. This is probably 10, 9. It's going to... These are a lot of bigger packages today. I'm going to have some issues getting this into the post office. This is an eBay international shipping order. All right, EIS on here so I remember, and then DA. These are my favorite kind of orders. So now, if I can get this to Glendale Heights, where the eBay shipping hub is, which is only a few minutes from my house, it's about, I mean, it's probably a 25 or 30 minute drive, but it's only about 10 or 12 miles. If I can get it there in one piece, I don't have to worry about it anymore. If those bowls get broken during shipping, that's going to be eBay's concern. They will take that hit and have to refund the buyer, and I won't have to think about that ever again. Okay, should I do the VCR? Might as well. This VCR is just about this, almost exactly the size of this styrofoam, so I'm going to use this to find a box. This is a good one. Okay, I have some, use that right off the bat. I have these pieces of corrugated cardboard, this very thick cardboard that is perfect for packing around something like a VCR, so I'm going to use these today. Okay, how tall should this be? Where's my ruler? I just put it away. So this box is going to be about 8 inches tall. And this one is 12. I'm going to make it a little shorter than that. So this is the same thing, just making this box a little shorter so we don't have to fill so much void. The VCR will go right in here. We leave plenty of room for packing around it, but we don't want it to be so big that we're putting half a roll of paper. And this one, I'll keep this. This is a nice flap to use for something in the future. And this side as well will be a good flap to use for something. And we cut the corners like this. Oops, that one's already done. Okay, let's see. These things are pretty thick, but they cut very easily. And then I can put it right inside here. I might have made it a little bit too long. Oh, I got too much stuff here. It's making me anxious. When I'm working with a big box like this, I want as much space as possible. Trying to not spend all day on this. These things are only about 1 inch thick, but I think that'll be plenty of padding for the bottom of a VCR. I want to put this in a bag. Might have to use 2 of these. This has only been listed for a couple of days. Listed, oh, not even. It was listed on the 3rd and sold on the 3rd. So this VCR came from a garage sale. And I don't even remember buying it. I bought it in November and I just got it listed yesterday. All of this electronic stuff needs to be tested before you can sell it, and I don't really like doing it, so I'll buy something and then it sits here for months before I get around to listing it, testing it and listing it. Okay, this should go in sideways. So I bought it for, I'm gonna guess, yeah, $10, and I sold it for $62 plus shipping. It's a Sony brand one. Usually Sony is a good quality one that people are looking for. Not always. It's just a plain VCR. It's not even a combo DVD player. Okay. Well, while I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple of wraps of bubble around this. Put it this way. So yeah, I'm not going out doing any sourcing today because I have so much. I'm running out of space to store things, and I have a lot of I have a lot of inventory that's waiting to be listed. So I'm going to try to spend most of this weekend just listing. So I'm trying to get this done, this packing done pretty quickly, because I don't want to spend. I want that free time to do more listing. I probably wouldn't do this for a $25 or $30 VCR, but this one is over 60. It feels like it's prudent to make it nice for the buyer. Even if this bubble wrap doesn't really accomplish anything, it gives the appearance of security. So if the buyer opens the box and it looks like I put some effort into it, they'll be happier and I'll be happier. Okay. So that fits in there pretty well. I'm gonna put see if I can cut this to fit between these two pieces. Just kind of keep these in place so they don't slide around. Okay, now this goes in. Now all around the sides of this is going to be, maybe I can use these air pockets. Yeah, I think I'll just use the paper. I'm gonna have to put these, I'm gonna have to take these into the post office in multiple trips. Because I only have 3 or 4 done here, and I already have more than I can carry. Yeah, testing these pieces of vintage equipment it's a lot of work, and I'm not necessarily an expert. I don't always know. I can't test every single function. I'm just basically, if it's a DVD, I'm putting a DVD in it, seeing if it works, if it'll play. Put a VHS tape in, see if it plays, and that's about as far as my testing goes. This is called hex comb. Yeah, that turns out to be exactly perfect size, just by chance. So then I'll cut this right here again, like I did the other one, and put some tape on it, and then get these flaps closed and be done with this package. I've never ordered a VCR or a DVD player in the mail, so I don't know how other people pack them. But I think this is going to be pretty strong. Okay. It's not unbelievably heavy, but it's heavy enough. Okay, how big is this box? I guess my rule of thumb is if it's shorter than this cutting mat, then it should be able to go through USPS. Okay, it's gonna be marker. It's 21 by 17. I think this is going to be 7 or 8. Call it 8. VCR. How much does it weigh? This is 10 pounds, 11 ounces. So this would be a good candidate to test our new shipping methods and see if we can get that to happen faster. Okay, BL. This is just going a couple of towns over. This is actually in the city where my wife works. So that packing is probably overkill to travel 10 miles. Probably not even 10 miles, maybe 7 miles. But it'll get there. All right, next is this thing, Marlboro cooler. I'm always looking at these anything that came from Marlboro during the Marlboro Miles eras. And some of that stuff sells very well. I think like they had sleeping bags, if you can get those and they're brand new, they do well. The watches do well. They probably had Swiss Army knives. Mostly it's like outdoorsy type stuff they gave away from that program. I can't remember when that ended. Late, I don't know, 2005 or something like that. But I do see this stuff that's branded Marlboro around every once in a while. And these I got from the Salvation Army. They had quite a lot of them. I think they probably had about 50. And I kind of wanted to take them all. But in the end, I took 15 instead of all 50. I'm just going to make a little cap for this box. I thought they would sell pretty quickly. They're not worth a huge amount of money, $20. I think I bought them for about $2.75, something like that. I paid about $2 and maybe just under $3 a piece for them. $2.74 it looks like. So yeah, it only sold for $18.39. That's on a sale. But I was expecting them to sell faster. I've had this since October. It's April now. So yeah, I thought these things would sell quickly. That's why I bought all 15 of them. But this is the first one I've sold, I think. Maybe one before that, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure this is the first one. Okay. do the same technique here pretty much. This thing's indestructible. It doesn't need much padding, but I will put a little more paper in there just to be safe. I don't want it flopping around at all, so we'll keep this here to lock it in the middle of the box. And then I'll just put this cap on. And tape it down and we'll be done with this. One of these totes under here is filled totally with these jugs. So if I can get them sold, I can clear that space out. Okay. I'm just gonna write jug on here. I think it's probably called something else, but and 1 pound 10 ounces. This is 13 by gonna be 9 by 9. 9 by 9, and it's going to MBJ. MBJ. Okay. All these boxes are going to be all over the place and disorganized when I go to put the labels on. Okay, next. This is some motorized garage door opener stuff. All right, this is too long. You know what, I'm just gonna wrap this. It doesn't need any padding at all, and this box will probably work out just fine for that. I probably could just put a label right on here and ship it that way, but I did not. Sometimes I will put that, if it's something like a toner cartridge that's already packaged and ready for shipping, I'll put that right in the listing description to say, you know, will be shipped in original package or whatever. I did not do that on this one, so I'm going to just wrap this up, and it'll be fine. It'll be more than fine. All right. Where's my knife? I'm gonna cut this right here. Get this out of my way. Make this a little bit more manageable. Okay, that goes there, that folds up. This side will fold up without scoring. That's fine. That folds over, that's fine. Okay, this I will score with my little scoring tool. I'm just going to eyeball it and not use a ruler. I already have a line here, so I'll try to stick to the line as much as I can. And do the same right here. This can come off. Do it again. And then we'll do one more. Let's see. This one we can just cut. Typically I would use a ruler for most of this, but it's just a lot of packages here, and I don't want to spend all day working on this. We're getting there though. What do we have? 3 left. Okay, make a flap. Cut this off. This one needs a couple of flaps. Cut this off. I don't know exactly what this is. Part of a garage door opener. I was at a yard sale and this guy had quite a lot of these. Maybe he had 15 to 20 different models and brands, garage door opener parts. I guess he was probably used to be a garage door installer or something. And he only had $5 a piece on them. They didn't seem to be like very quick sellers, but the ones that did sell were pretty good profit. So I bought 4. I contemplated buying them all, but then I was looking at how slowly they would sell, and I decided, no, I can't have 50 of these things taking up space. So I just bought 4 of them, and that was all the way back in May. And this is the first one that sold. And that sold it for $50 on a sale, plus shipping. So I already made money on these 4 pieces. I spent $20 on all 4 of them, and I sold one for $50 already. So those other 4, they really don't take up that much space because of how skinny the packaging is. So they can sit here for as long as they need to sell. I'm not sure how many people who are doing home repairs or upgrades to their garage door are thinking about eBay as a source to buy supplies, but should be. Because that stuff is expensive. I didn't look to see how much one of these would be retail, but I'm sure it's much more than $50. I feel like I should have put some paper inside that box to keep it from the original box, to keep it from rattling. I'm gonna open it back up again. Ugh. Come on. I don't know exactly. I don't know much about garage door openers. In fact, my garage door opener stopped working, and I haven't been able to figure out how to get it running again. I think it's a very old garage. It's a brick construction, and it's basically falling down. So I think the front wall where the door is starting to lean away from the building. And I don't think it has to lean very far before that's putting too much pressure on the garage door opener. So it stopped working. It went through several phases where it would come down all the way and then just immediately go back up again, and there was nothing blocking the sensor or there was nothing to make that happen. So I think that was like the first indication of something going wrong. And then eventually it just stopped working altogether. And it was a brand new, the homeowner who lived here before us who sold this house to us just put it in brand new. So it's also possible that they did a lot of work here themselves, and it's possible that it was just never installed correctly. And I don't know how to fix a garage door opener, so we don't park in there. Our driveway's a little too narrow to get the car along the side of the house to the back where the garage is. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's pretty sketchy. So we almost never, I mean, we haven't ever parked inside that garage. 2.8. 2.8 pounds. This is door. And this is 19 by, let's say 5 by 5, 3 by 3. I don't know how much these dimensions matter through USPS, but we'll keep our eyes on it. Okay, we got paid for the coat. We got paid for that offer that just came in, and then we sold the hat as well. So this packing video is just going to keep going and going. We might run out of time on our camera. Okay, Genie garage door opener. This is going to DA. All right, next. This is a little manga. I'm going to put it in a used bubble mailer with some cardboard wrapped around it. I told this story before, but I got a lot of manga books at the Salvation Army. And I think they were probably, I don't know how much they charge for books there, but at least $1 a piece. And when I was buying them, I was also buying some series of Unfortunate Events books, and the cashier was telling me about how that was her favorite book series. And I don't know if she intentionally undercharged me or if she was just distracted by these books that I was buying. So she really wanted to talk to me about them. When I got home, I realized that she had charged me probably only for half of them. So I got all of these books for 85 cents a piece. And so I sold this one for $12.91. This is on a sale. The ones I got aren't exceptionally valuable. Some of those books are. Most of these were in Japanese. You know, they're not English language versions. They're the original Japanese versions, which I thought that might be a good selling point because there's, very few of them listed in the US eBay. But I have had them for quite a while, and they just started to sell in the last few weeks. I've been selling maybe one every other day, something like that. This one is called Burn the Witch. Burn. And it weighs 7 ounces. This package is, I'm going to put some more tape on here. It's a little too weird looking. I don't want to drop these off at the post office and have them think I don't know how to make packages. So I'm going to make this a little nicer. Okay. This is 10 by 6 by 1. And it's going to DS in Florida. Okay, next up, Littenware. So yeah, like I said, these things sell quickly. For whatever reason, I never even heard of it. I never heard of Littenware before this, before I saw one. The first one I ever saw was at a Savers. For whatever reason, I drove to this Savers. That's kind of far away from here. Do I want to fill this whole box with paper? So I drove to this Savers. It was on Monday when it's half off day at Savers. And I got there pretty late in the evening. I might have been, it's right by an IKEA, so I might have been at IKEA, or it's also not that far from where my wife works, so I might have been visiting her at work or something. And I decided on a Monday night to go to this Savers. So like I said, half off day, usually everything's pretty well picked over. So I was surprised. I was just basically checking everything, you know, things I might not normally look at. I was looking them up to see. Because by Monday night on half off day, those stores are pretty well decimated. But I found one of these Littenware casserole dishes, and I think that was a bigger one. I'm pretty sure I sold it for like $27, something like that. This one sold for $22. I only paid $3 for it at the Goodwill, and I bought it in February, the end of February, so hasn't been listed too long. I keep track in my notes here in the SKU field. I keep track of when I purchased something, not necessarily when it was listed. So sometimes I'll buy something and then sit on it for a while before I actually list it. So this one I got it February 27th. On my spreadsheet when we get there, it shows when the item was actually listed. But I'm gonna guess it was probably listed between March 15th and March 27th, something like that, halfway through March. So it hasn't been listed very long. It's only probably been listed for 4 days, or at the most 3 weeks. So I'm happy with that. Turn around $3 into $21 in just a few weeks. This box has so many labels. These little colorful ones usually just peel right off, but not always. Okay. I accidentally got these labels that don't fit in my label printer, so I've been using them to cover up old markings on boxes. Whoops. You know, there's another one over here. I got these for free, and they are like basically 4 by 4.5, so I can't really do anything with them. I guess I could use them for stickers and cut them out. You know, I could print something on here. And I've been contemplating doing a coupon QR code and sending it out with all of my packages, but so far I haven't done that. But these kind of sheets might be good for that. Okay, Litton, Litton Ware, W-A-R-E. So keep your eyes out for it. It's not a big seller price-wise, but does seem to be sought after. 10 by 13 by 5. Quick seller. They comes in all different varieties, like different shapes of pans and stuff. So SG. All right, what are we on to? Okay, I'm going to refresh this page to see these new sales that came in. And we're going to save those shoes for last because I want to take a little time and do those as nicely as I can. We're over an hour already. It's been an hour and 6 minutes. We still have 4 packages. Okay, let's pick these. Okay, Cube 6A. This should be lapel pins. It's not that. Okay. Show you this one. L6A, I wrote something on a piece of paper in here that says NN, so this is the right bag. Now we're going in here. That was loud. Is it in here? No, it's not. But there is a hat in here. W4, I mean wall D4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is. This is a Nike hat. And then this coat is in here. I never know exactly where to grab these lids to open them. There we go. Okay, it's either in here or it's somewhere else and I put the wrong label on. Which is definitely possible. There it is. Okay. Orders, back to this. Okay, this is a lot of lapel pins. They're all like police officer themed. Some of them are a little tongue-in-cheek, but some of them are like legitimate. Police Officer Department of Defense. That's United States Police, Federal Police. This one says, what does it say? Logan, Utah. So this one is German American Police Officer Society. So somebody sent me, I think it's probably this one. Somebody sent me a message this morning asking how much I would charge for just one of these pins. I think it's this Greek one, Greek American one. And I mean, the answer is, this is a pretty cheap package. You know, this is going to be $18. Probably was $19.99, and I sent him an offer. He wanted me to split up the set. I mean, it's not a set, but it's a lot. He wanted me to split it up and sell him just one pin, which I can't see a way to do that would be cost effective for me, because I would have to take this listing down, replace all the photos. You know, I'd be spending 20 minutes relisting stuff just to make however much, $6. Like, if I'm charging 18 for 10 of them, for 8 of them, how much am I going to just charge for one? So I think I had it listed at $19.99. I just sent him an offer for $18, and he bought them all. So that's the best case scenario for me. And I say that I would never want to break up one listing to sell that item. But just yesterday, I sent an eBay seller a message asking them if they would sell me one book out of a set. Because I got I got a whole set of vintage encyclopedias. Here they are right here. All of these, and there's one book missing. So with that one book included, I might be able to get $600 for those encyclopedias, but with the one missing, I'll probably be lucky if I could get $150. So they don't have the whole set. They had a set of just 9 of those books. Well, I probably should have told you, this is a Nike golf hat that I got for $2 and I sold it for $21 today. This is one of those things where you ever get a buyer who sends you a message that just says, what's the lowest you'll go? And I usually don't respond to those, because I don't want to be haggling against my own best interest. If you send me an offer, I'm happy to consider it, but I don't like to do that. But in this case, I just sent him an offer. Like, this is how much I if you just liked it or watched it or viewed it enough times, I would probably be sending him a 10% off offer anyway. So I just figured I might as well just send him the equivalent of that. So that's what I did. He bought the hat for $21, and I guess we'll both be happy. I've had this hat. This is another one I just got in February, so it's not that old. Nike golf hat, came from a Goodwill. And it weighs 6 ounces. I moved off of those lapel pins because I want to put the label on them before sealing it up, because I don't see a way to have a flat surface for the label. So I'm going to wait until I'm ready to ship everything, and then I'll put the information in, print the label, put it on the envelope, and then seal the envelope. Anyway, this one is going to JH3, and it is 9 by 6 by 4. But I still could put the info on here. So that's only 2 ounces. This is pins. This package is going to be 8 by 6 by 3. The buyer's initials are DM. This is definitely the guy who asked about the Greek American Police Association pin, because his name is definitely Greek. Okay, I'm not going to take this out of this package, but it is a Kappa. A jacket by a company called Kappa. It's a small size, so that's not a great size to get at the thrift stores. But this particular one came from a Unique, and I was there one day, and it was just like every jacket I was looking at was worth $50 to $200. So I kind of got jacket fever that day, and just was buying jacket after jacket. I think I bought 6 coats on that particular day. And this is the first one I sold. I bought it for $10 and it sold for $50. So yeah, this is the guy that he sent me an offer. The thing was already on sale, and it was $50.37. And he sent me an offer for $50 even, which, how could I reject that? This is going, I'm pretty sure this is going international. Yeah. I'll put a little more in there. There's nothing breakable in here, but the less things move around during shipping, the better. So yeah, this is another thing that's just going to the eBay shipping hub, and then they'll take care of the rest of the shipping for me. Let's find out what country it's going to. Whoops. Show recipient address. Oh, just Canada. So this is a brand new buyer on eBay. This would be his first purchase. So let's make sure he gets it in one piece. Okay, Kappa. 1 pound, 6 ounces. This box is 13 by 11 by 3. And EIS to MADS. Okay, now the last thing. These ones I'm a little bit anxious about because I've never done anything through the eBay authentication service. But in fact, I've tried to avoid it. If I could, I would sell, I might list basically anything that's over $75 for shoes is required to go through this authentication process, where I will ship these shoes to. I mean, I couldn't begin to tell you how somebody authenticates a pair of shoes, but I'll ship them to an authenticator in Las Vegas. Once that person has gone over the shoes and decided if they were legitimate, real brand name shoes, they will then ship them on to the buyer. So in this case, there's been times when I had shoes that were worth $80 or $90 and I just listed them for $74 because I didn't want to have to deal with the authentication process. But in this case, I paid up for these quite a bit. I paid $37 and something for these shoes. After taxes and everything, I paid $37.83 at a Goodwill. And then I listed them for like $160 or something like that. They've been listed since the beginning of February. I thought they would sell a little quicker. They are size 13, which isn't the most common size. This box is too small. But I got a few offers on them that never turned into anything. Since this is going to eBay, I want them to go in a nice package. The problem is they're size 13, and the biggest boxes I have are 12 inches, so they won't fit corner to corner. I mean, I might have to do 2 boxes, and this is probably not a bad idea anyway. Put 1 shoe in each box and then trap the 2 boxes together. 12 by 9 by 5. So I'm not going to make a huge amount of money on these. Maybe I'll make $60 or $70 when all is said and done. 12 by 9 by 5, 12 by 10 by 4. Are these? Yeah, these would be fine. So anyway, I don't know. I have heard a lot of stories about people's authentication being rejected because of the description they put. Like they might say, shoes in brand new condition with box. And then they don't describe that the box has some damage on it. And so it gets rejected by the authenticator. So I don't have a box. I made my description as minimal as possible, thinking if I put too much, then I'm just asking for trouble. If I describe something differently than the authenticator sees it. So I didn't go overboard describing the shoes. I don't really know how to describe them anyway. Shit. These boxes are only 4 inches tall, and this sole of this shoe is about 4 1/4. The thickness of the shoe. So these are not going to work. Let's try one of these. This one is 5 inches tall. That'll fit in there. If I had some tissue paper, I would wrap each one in tissue like they do in shoe boxes, but I don't have any. So I'm going to wrap these in paper. Put it in here at a weird angle, and then bubble wrap, or just more paper. I might be overthinking this, but I just really don't want this. I really don't want this to fail authentication if they're real shoes and I've just done something wrong in the packing. But I guess I just have to trust my instincts. I mean, I guess the worst case scenario is they fail authentication and then they send them back to me and I lost $37.87 that I originally paid for them. Or I mean, I guess I would relist them with a different description, unless they come back saying they are absolutely not real Nikes. But I mean, I don't have any experience looking at fake shoes, but these look real to me. They seem like high quality shoes. This is the wrong one. I mean, I don't really understand the kind of sneaker collector, 12 by 9. The sneaker collector mentality. If I buy shoes because I need to wear them and they're touching the ground at all times and they're going to get dirty, I don't really care about any of that. But if I have something that somebody wants to collect, I'm happy to give it to them. I wouldn't collect almost any of the stuff that I sell. Okay, let's try this again. I watched a few videos about the authentication process and nobody mentioned anything about shipping. So, I mean, I'm confident these shoes are real. I'm just worried about the shipping them wrong somehow. In fact, now that I mentioned that, one of the videos said you have to include a packing slip. So maybe I should figure out how to do that. Print. The other thing is when you go through the authentication process this way, eBay pays for the shipping label. So this label would probably cost anywhere between $10 and probably $9 to $16. So I'm saving that money. Let's go. I'm going to go to, I can't find a way to print a packing sheet from that app, so I'm going to look for it on here. Okay, drafts, okay, orders, all orders. Add tracking number, print packing slip. Can I print this on these little sheets? I'm gonna pause this for a second and print this on the regular printer upstairs. Okay, we're back. I've never printed a packing slip for any of my orders before. I've heard people advise to do it, but it doesn't seem like something I would want. If I was receiving a package, I don't want this. It's just one more thing for me to throw away. So, but in this case, it seems prudent. There's nothing in the eBay instructions that says you need to include a packing slip, but I did see that in one video that is required. So it just takes a second to print it and throw it in here. Okay, so these shoes, like I said, I bought them for $37.83 and sold them for $131. The buyer paid like $14.95 for shipping. But like I said, with this program, the shipping is included, so I won't be expected to pay for that. Let me find a new roll of tape. I might not. I don't think I'm going to film the whole process of printing the labels and putting putting all of the information into the eBay label purchasing page, because I think we're close to an hour and a half already, and that's a little too long for anybody to withstand. So I'll probably finish this box. I'll shut off the camera. I'll buy all the labels, and then I'll come back and just quickly run down the profits on each of these items. Okay, so we're back. That took about 20 minutes, much longer than I expected. We got all these labels printed. Everything's ready to go. Somehow I have to get all this out to the car. I think it's probably going to take me 3 to 4 trips. Okay, let's look at our spreadsheet and I'll tell you where we are as far as profits. Okay, let's start at the top. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sales on Thursday, and then so far 3 today. So the 3 today, we're looking at that Nike hat that just came in at the end. After fees and everything, we made $17.30 on that. I bought it for $2 and I sold it for $21. The Kappa camo jacket, I got that at the Unique thrift store for $9.90. I sold it for $50. After everything, we're in at $33.10 profit. The police lapel pins, $13.12 profit. Okay, now we're on to, so far today anyway, we are at $63.52. Probably we'll have some more sales today. Okay, so yesterday, Thursday, the Masterpiece art auction game that came out of the trash, sold it for $46.79, and after fees and shipping, we brought in $39.26. The small soldiers plates, I bought those for $4.40, sold them for $12, so we've profited $5.07. The 2 Heinrich, Villeroy, and Bosch bowls, we earned $18.52. The VCR, sold it for $61, paid $10 for it, so we earned $40.73 on that. The Marlboro Coleman, which we still have 14 of these, so if we sell them all like this, I'll be happy. We made $11.52. The Genie garage door opener part I bought it for $5, sold it for $49.49, and we earned $36.59. The manga Burn the Witch, that's a Japanese language one, we got $10.04 profit. The Littenware microwave cookware, paid $3, sold it for $21.99. After fees and shipping, we earned $14.16 on that. And then we're on to those Nike shoes. So those are going to the authenticator. I bought them for $37.83. They were sold for $131. There was no shipping charge on that because they're going through the authentication program. So we earned $91.52 on that one pair of shoes. So the total profit for yesterday was $267.40. So that gives us right now a average daily profit for April. We're only 3 days in, so this isn't very useful information, but it is $117.49 a day, and that's an average sale price of exactly $26. So doing pretty good. I was worried about those first 2 slow days of April, but then yesterday seemed to make up for it. Hopefully we can have a few more days like this month. I don't like having to carry this many packages to the post office, and I don't like leaving this many packages for my carrier to pick up when she does porch pickups. But this is the business we're in, so we're going to get these to the post office today and try to get back home and get a bunch more listings accomplished so we can sell even more stuff on eBay. Okay, that's it for now. I'm sorry about the length. This video is probably over an hour and a half now at this point, so hopefully you've been able to stick with me. If not, I understand. Hopefully the next video that comes along will be a little shorter and less trying. So thank you again for watching. We'll see you very soon. Goodbye.